Welcome out there in YouTube land. Today I'm in my barn. I'm going to be working on my Saab. My Saab 9.3 is a 2003 convertible, and I was going to do just a quick will it run, or what do you call it, a first start, cold start video. But then I realized that I got a problem. Yesterday I was out here in the barn and I noticed that there's a leak underneath here. See if I can show you. Down there, my car's been peeing on the floor. And so I started to figure out where it's coming from. That's coolant right there. You can see the reddish color to it. So I was trying to figure out where that came from, and I found some liquid underneath the engine. Isn't that a surprise? But the liquid I found was coming from up here, and I'll show you a little bit later when I get to it. And it smelled distinctly like urine. So what I'm afraid I have is mice up under there in the, what do you call it, the cabin air filter. So I figured if I'm going to change the cabin air filter, this is going to take a lot longer than just charging the battery and cranking the starter. I'm going to have to clean this out first. The reason I got to clean that out first, just so you understand, this automatically turns on the fan, the circulation fan inside the car when you start it up. So what that means is I'll be sucking through, if there is a mouse nest in here, I'll be sucking any of the mouse nest into the heater. And I have experience with that. I don't want to do it again. I've had this car now, just for background, this will be my 12th or 13th year with this car. And each winter I put it away, or each fall, and each spring I take it out. And I've had springs where there's been, I think the worst was right after I bought it. I pulled a mouse nest out of there that filled a joint compound bucket. So I'm going to get ready for spring this year and not start it up with the mouse nest in the heater box. And the other thing I'm going to do, I thought while I'm in here, I might as well replace the engine air filter. So I'm going to pull off the filter box cover, and I have a new filter over there on my workbench. So let's start here. Since this does not involve mouse turds and nastiness too much yet. Hopefully. I have not had, touch wood, I've not had a mouse nest in here yet. I check every year because I don't want to suck that through either into the engine. And another thing I'm going to do this spring, I don't know if I'll get to it before I start it, probably, I don't know, we'll see. We'll also see how long this video is going to be, because I don't want to make this too long and drawn out. I want to get to the point here. For those of you who've never done an engine air filter on a Saab 9.3, there are 3 Torx bits, or Torx screws, 4 in the corners, and those are what I'm removing right now. Bring you over and show you. Okay, so here is one of the 4 Torx bits right there, Torx screws. There's one down here. There's one way up here, and there's one over here. You have to loosen up the hose clamps because you need to be able to flex the rubber pipe here. I'll get at that now. So I need to pull that off of there, and then come on, talk to it a little bit. there's also a couple of clips. There's one I got. Is that the one? There we go. Yep. There's only one clamp. All right. Come on. I suppose they could have made this box a little bit smaller to make it easier to get at. So here's my engine air filter. It's pretty clean. Nobody nesting in there. You see down in? Nobody nesting down in there. That's nice. A little bit of dust to clear out. And get my new filter. Now, is that the right filter for this car? Yes. And there's the mass airflow sensor up here. Check to make sure there's nothing unnecessary in there. Cover back on. I think before I start bolting that back in place, I'll put the rubber hose back on. Come on, go on now. Okay, step one, or was that step two? I'm looking at, we're going to have 4 different steps here, I'm thinking. Number 1 was to hook up the battery charger. Let me move you back a little bit. So we got the battery charger working while we're doing other things. Number 2, engine air filter. Number 3, the cabin air filter. And then number 4, I guess, will be to hook up the battery and crank it over. Oh, while we're here, I'll take that out of the way. I do a couple of things each winter to try and discourage the mice. Number 1 is a mouse trap goes on top of the engine, and I did not catch a single mouse in there this year. The other thing I do, I always leave the hood open on the car. That way it minimizes the chances of the mice nesting in the hood insulation up here. And I don't have much trouble with that anymore. This is a second hood liner. The first one that came with the car had several mouse nests in it. And so with that one, I replaced with this, I don't know, probably 6 or 8 years ago. So step 3, so I leave the hood open all winter long, and I also have a soft top cover that I put on the car to protect the soft top from animals getting to it. I used to have cats, and the cats would love to sleep on the soft top. And so I found that if I bought a soft top cover don't remember where I got that from 12 years ago. The cats didn't like to sleep on it so much, so that was a big help. And I'm looking at the battery charger and it says it's done, so I'm going to disconnect that and get that out of the way. Now the next step is going to be to remove this to get at the cabin air filter. The first, well, I guess the easiest thing to do in the process is to take off this rubber seal. The next step I'm going to have to, I can take off the windshield washer hose right there. I'm going to have to remove the windshield wipers. So, get a pick. I'm going to need a pick to pull off the caps. Wow, was that loose? 13 millimeter socket. And there's the cap. And do the same on the other side.
And the socket and the bolt nut. Those are clear. Don't need the pick.
And now the next step is getting the windshield wipers off. And I usually find that I have to put the hood down for part of this. Come on. Yep, I have to put the hood down. Work at it from above. I don't know if this one will come out. No. Get the light out of the way. Now you can see this one here I can access from with the top, with the hood down. The bonnet for those of you in Great Britain. Got it loosened up. I have to have the hood up in order to remove it. Pull you back. Oh, you can see everything from here. Okay. All right. The next step is we're going to get this plastic panel out of the way. I'm going to need to disconnect the windshield washer tube over here too. Reach underneath. And don't forget to remind me to hook that back up when we're done. I had the windshield replaced a couple of summers ago, and for some strange reason the windshield washer didn't work. Can you figure out why? Now, if you look at the underside of this panel, I put some mesh screen in some of the openings to try to keep the mice out. All it does is discourage them a little bit. Get that out of the way, and then we have another plastic panel here. This is like a drip guard to keep water from falling onto the cabin air filter, which is right underneath here. And what are we going to find? Oh, there it is. I knew there'd be a nest in there. It's not on top of the filter anyways. We need light. Little buggers. Can you see it there? I'm going to have to get the shop vac out. Right up against the windshield wiper motor on the far side. Ooh, what did they use for that? What's that white stuff? I hope it didn't come out of the car. Oh my gosh. Guess what, folks? We have a visitor. Where's my mouse trap when I need it? We have a visitor. Mickey is in the house. And Mickey babies. Oh gosh. All right, I'm gonna get the vacuum cleaner out. This is eviction time, folks. Did Mickey and Minnie have a baby? Well, if they did, it'd be right there. Pardon the noise, it's gonna get loud. Where'd they go? Did you see? Oh, well, I didn't expect to have a guest appearance. The reason I knew that that there was a mouse in residence, I'll show you. So down, how can I point it out? Down in there, there's what I call the elephant trunk. This is a drain pipe for water that gets into that area, and that drain pipe smells terribly of urine, of mouse urine. And so that's how I knew that I had a resident under the hood. So now, this is the cabin air filter. You notice that I put a mesh screen over that a couple years ago, I think that was, to keep them from nesting in the cabin air filter. There we go. There it is. All right, if you look at shop manuals, they'll tell you to remove the windshield wiper motor to do this, but you don't have to. It will slide out. Like that. Come on. It's supposed to. Just gotta work it. Oh God, smell the mouse urine. Oh my gosh. Whew. Now, I think it's time to replace the cabin air filter. Oh my. Oh my. Oh, that's terrible. Now I gotta figure out if she got down in there. Okay, the heater blower looks fine. I'll show you that. So the heater blower's down there, and one year I had a mouse that actually chewed through the cabin air filter and built the nest down in there, actually in the motor. And I sucked all the nest out of there, out of the opening. There you go. I sucked all the nest out of here, and what I didn't realize is that it actually built more of it up inside the squirrel cage blower. And about a month or two later, I had to replace the motor because it burned out. So that was an eventful year. Like I say, when I first bought the car, it had kind of a funky smell, and I eventually realized what was going on, and I filled up a joint compound bucket, a 5-gallon bucket full of mouse nest in here. So if you have a Saab 9.3 of the version 1, 1999 to 2002, 2003, be sure and check your heater box each spring or regularly once a year. Okay, where are we at? Next step. I need to clean this all out. There's all mouse droppings in here. There's a lot of mouse urine smell. There's still some more to vacuum. So I'm going to go get some water and some cleaner and sponge and really clean this out carefully. One of the things that attracts the mice to a place like this is the smell of other mice. They can smell the mouse urine and they know it's a good place to live. So I'm going to have to come back in there and clean it out. So I'll be back in a few minutes with the materials. All right, I have a bucket of water and some cleaning solutions, different flavors. We've got Simple Green and Febreze. The first thing I want to do is wash this area where she was nesting. Let me know if you see her come back. She's already come back once that I know of while I was getting ready. Yeah. And she was right in there where the mice had chewed it off before, previous, right in the same location. I can see where I put electrical tape over the insulation that they chewed off years ago. I'm going to clean the screen off. This seems to be where she'd like to pee. This is a new cabin air filter right here. And if I turn it over, you see this little tab right here? This comes molded like that. You have to bend it inward. And I don't know if you can see. No, you can't see from that angle. But there's a rubber gasket that goes around the opening that this is going to snap onto. And see if I can get you up in there to see it. If you have a Saab 9.3, make sure you do this correctly. Right up in there. My finger's pointing, can you see it? Right up in there, come on. I just snapped the mousetrap. Right there. You got to get that semicircular piece to go around that gasket right there. So this slides in a little bit of a twist, and it'll slide right up in there without having to take out the windshield wiper motor and system. Before I snap that into position, let me just... I read this years ago. Get some Lysol or some other spray and spray it down in there, and even turn the fan on. Smells like a Lysol factory in there. Now I'll snap this back into position. Alright, that appears to be all set. I am going to go get some fresh water, and I'm going to wash out that screen and be back in a few minutes. Alright, I cleaned off the screen and got some fresh water so I can clean the other side here. Oh, my gloves smell like mouse pee. Yuck. Hopefully Minnie didn't come back while I was away. I am going to hot glue that screen in place on top of the cabin air filter. So I've got to plug in my hot glue gun. Well, my camera just gave up on me. So we'll go to my cell phone. At this point, what I just did, and you missed it because the camera stopped working, is I took that hose off, that drain hose that goes up in there. Oh my gosh, you can see, I can see the mouse urine up in there. I took that hose off and I put it in the bucket over here, and I'm going to wash it out. And I'm also going to have to wash out where it connects. I don't know if you can see that up in there, but it's over there. Where's my hand? Right there. It goes in that oval shaped hole right there. And that's got to get cleaned up. I'll be back. All right, welcome back. I got the camera situation figured out. It was the SD card was full. Now, where am I here? I put down the inner liner in place, and I had to go in and get a new card, so that's why the mouse trap is back. So this is the other outer plastic sheet. Get it around the hood hinges, and when I get it roughly in place, I got to put the hose back in. Where's the hose? There it is. Push the hose back onto this fitting. Okay, get my hand back out of there. Do the other side. There's a couple of metal clips, one here and one over there. And then there's rubber molding that goes along the base of the windshield. And that rubber molding is supposed to be glued to the windshield, but it comes off inevitably. You can see the molding right there. Come on. Okay, several minutes of agonizing getting that silly thing back into position. Let's put the rubber gasket back and then work on the wipers. Just trying to see where Minnie Mouse got in. There's a little gap right here where my finger is on the bottom. That might be it. There's a little gap on the other side too. Okay. Let's get rid of the smelly stuff and the cleaners. That out of the way. Wait, one of them you have to do it with the hood up, and one you have to do it with the hood down. And need to approximate where the where I want the windshield wiper to go. I guess it's going to go there. It wants to go there. The other one. I don't want it that high. I want it not that low either. I want it right about there. Cap on. All right. Now at this point, I would probably change the spark plugs, or I was going to change the spark plugs. But, again, I want to discourage this mouse from coming back, so I want to get the car out of the barn tonight. So I think what I will do is I will get the battery connections set and check the oil level and maybe wipe the engine down a little bit, clean it up, do the spark plugs another day. Okay. Some light. I need a 13mm spanner for you people in Great Britain. That one's good and tight. Good and tight. Get the mouse deterrent machines out of there. I have the battery cover. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, I did add some more coolant. I added more coolant. I probably need more. It'll probably go down a little bit. Little silicone spray, silicone spray on the battery terminals to keep them from getting messed up. Cover back on. Battery cover so I don't accidentally put my hand over the terminals. I'm always afraid I'm going to do that. Never do, but my gloves out of there. Wipe down of the engine, check the oil level. some most materials here. Now the oil should be clean. I just changed it before I put it away last fall. And the oil level is right up there. Muddy handprints all over that nozzle. All right. Did I think of everything? I think so. I think I thought of everything. Okay, this was what I was going to. Oh, you know what I probably should do? Ooh, tire brush. All right, I checked all the tires. They were all down about 3 or 4 pounds. Get the key. Here we go. Give it a try. Oh, that was quick. Uneventful. That's how she usually starts up every year. It's just a little, 3 or 4 clicks. You didn't hear it probably, but the exhaust was kicking out some seeds in the back. Well, let's take her out. Like that. Drop the hood. Sorry, bonnet. And take her out of this mouse cave. When I say she made a mess on the floor, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's all coolant. Let's see if I can see any of the seeds came out. Oh yeah, wow. That's carbon. See it right there? Huh, wonder where that's from. And there's what the Saab looks like when she's out of the mouse cave. Looks like I need to vacuum the floor mats, but anyways, let's go for a spin. Well, we have heat. It smells like a Lysol factory in here. And as you can see, maybe, I live on a dirt driveway, on a dirt road. Now, I bought this car in 2009, and it was April of 2009. And now it's 2022. And when I bought it, it had about 70-something thousand miles. We have 111, just turned 111 before I put it away. The battery's going to die any second now. So I'll just say thank you for coming along for this little journey. I hope you got a chance to see Minnie Mouse and her little baby. And if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up down below. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, you can leave them down there too. Thanks a lot for watching, and take care now. Bye. And we're back home again. I just took it for 4 or 5 miles. Oh, there's a hawk right in front of us. Just took it for 4 or 5 miles and let it exercise, stretch its legs, and I think I'm going to leave it out at least for a few hours. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. I don't like leaving it out in the rain. It doesn't leak, but just prefer it didn't stay out in the rain. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye for now.